anger destroy your relationships? In case we haven't met yet, I'm Jess. I'm the sole founder of Life and Confidence. And when we experience anger, it's very easy to regress back into our coping mechanism to allow anger destroy us by imploding our anger, because for some reason we're not able to communicate or articulate it in an eloquent way, or we hold on to it, and this creates a passive aggressiveness in our behavior towards the person that we are holding the anger with, or we deny ourselves from feeling the anger because it doesn't feel safe to feel it. We run away from anger, we avoid it, we shut it down, as well as the person that has triggered the anger within us. Or we just simply explode our anger and dump it onto the other person through reactivity. And I have definitely experienced all of these avenues until I was able to have more awareness in how I showed up, receiving feedback from my beloved in how I showed up with my anger with him, and also just being mindful after reflecting the release of anger, how that impacts him as well. And how can I do things better? How can I actually feel into the anger, process it, hold space for it, to then articulate what I'm actually feeling? And this method has helped me very well in how to manage my anger. So when I went to this beautiful, incredible soulmate tantra training retreat experience with my beloved in Bali, I just came back from it, and there were so many nuggets of gold from that experience. And in this video, I want to share with you how I was able to process triggers from a participant at the retreat that I don't know, as well as a female teacher who embodies sensuality that triggered me through a message while I was at the retreat, and how I was able to resolve that with her. So in this experience with the male participant, he firmly touched my shoulder with his hand, and he came from behind. And he told me to lie down so he could see the demos, and walked away. I was furious and enraged because that caught me off guard. I was writing down notes of the demo, and he didn't look at me face to face and went from behind my back, which felt very intrusive. And he didn't even give me an opportunity for me to express how I felt about that, because I didn't want to lie down. I was still digesting the meal that we all had, and I like to sit upright to write down notes. So that created a lot of anger for me, because I felt I wasn't understood, and I felt my feelings and my experiences were dismissed. So how was I able to process that? There was an opportunity at the training where I was able to process my anger, and I really let it out in 2 different days with 2 different techniques, and focused on him. And when I was able to process that, there was a shift in my experience with him. He was approaching me where he was softer, warm, kind than how he usually was. And I noticed there was something moving through him as well. And then his partner came and asked me to lie down so she and him can see the demo, because I've been in the way this whole time. And she was able to look at me in the eye, and that was my opportunity to express to her that I'm not going to lie down because I'm still digesting my food and I'm writing down notes, but I can move in a different direction while I'm sitting. So I was trying to meet them halfway, where it was a win-win for both of us, and we were able to figure it out because her partner and him were more willing to meet me halfway. And that was a miracle within itself, for me to experience that shift in my anger and the projection that I had, particularly towards the man who approached me first, and how my experiences with that couple showed up differently. Another experience of anger that showed up for me while I was doing the training is that my female embodiment teacher decided to change all 4 dates of the online container that I signed up for, to really embrace myself in embodiment as a woman and in my sensuality and sexuality. And I was quite unsettled by her response, because that's not what I signed up for, paid for. For me, it came across as misleading and distrusting the feminine rather than embracing the feminine. So it had a polarizing experience on me to do her program. And I shared my honest feedback with her, how that landed for me. And she sent a long message coaching me my projection on the feminine. That made me even more livid, because I said to her I didn't feel seen and heard. And you're seeing my honest feedback as a drama or a problem. And she was able to drop down into her heart and say that she would like to have a call with me. And I've shared with her that I would like to have a call with her when I'm back in Sydney. And when I felt that trigger in my heart, that hardness, after reading her messages, and I was in a group share, and I was struggling to be present, to hold space and listen to other people's sharing, because I was so caught up in my anger, the hardness that it created in my heart, and shutting down my feelings, my vulnerability, my connection to spirit, feeling heavy and weighed down. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to share in the group when I'm feeling like this. And as it came closer and closer to my share, I started to have awareness around how I was holding on to anger, repressing it, because I wasn't able to process it and do a release process in my own privacy with this particular teacher, and to have a conversation with her about how her message landed for me. And when it came closer to my share, I heard my partner share, and he's always charming when he shares publicly. And it helps me to move through the pain that I was going through by learning to soften my heart, by opening my heart, by being in the present moment, even if it was a struggle, and just give myself permission to receive joy, to receive acceptance and compassion for myself in this process. And when I allow the frequency of my partner's share to enter inside of my heart, it allowed me to share from a place of heart. And I have to say, it was one of the most funniest shares I've ever shared about my experiences of intimacy in the bedroom with my beloved in the group share. and everyone just laughed. And it was such a beautiful experience for me to give myself the gift, the permission to just be in the present moment, to be in my heart space and drop into my heart space for a moment and allow the softness, the love, the compassion to move through the hardness of anger, to transmute it into neutrality so I can be fully present for myself and for others in this incredible container that I don't get to engage in on a daily basis. So that has helped me move through the repressed anger. And then when I went back to my villa and looked at my phone, I had a beautiful message from my feminine embodiment teacher that she understands where I'm coming from, and she apologizes and she wants to take the opportunity to hear me out. And I just felt like, wow, miracles do happen within hours when we choose to process and let go of our anger and be in our joy through our heart space instead. That when we drop down the projection of anger onto others, we then see things so clearly. We then experience that same frequency back at us. And it has been such an incredible experience and eye-opener for me how far I have come along with my relationship with anger, and that I'm no longer projecting this angry reactivity towards my partner, my beloved, because what I've learned from those experiences where it triggers him and it puts this guard up my heart to shut down and be so cruel in my words, I realize this is not a way to be. This is very wounded. This is coming from a little girl that feels like she's not being seen and heard. So how can I communicate in an adult and mature way about it? And so when I was able to process my anger, feel into it, move into it, let it go, and just release the rage at it, and then hold space for it, and then create a script in my head, how can I communicate this anger to my beloved or to anyone else, where I can be more softer, more kinder and more gentle with my anger and share that effectively without blaming the other person, but really taking personal responsibility for my emotions and my needs in the experience. So I really hope that this insight has helped you, and this has really contributed to healing my relationship with my mother, and there's still more to come with the depths of healing with me and my mother. I'm able to get to this point where I haven't shut down the door on my mother, where many times I wanted to end the relationship with her because of my anger. I didn't know how to deal with my anger. Instead, I've exploded onto her or repressed it and eventually explode onto her, which was really unnecessary because I didn't give myself the permission to process it, to hold space for it, and to articulate it in a way that my mum could understand where I was at. And even if she didn't understand, at least I gave myself permission to communicate to her and just not be attached to her response. So, do you let anger destroy your relationships? Do you let anger get the best of you? And if you do, don't beat yourself up, because we're all human beings. All we can do is learn how we can do things better. How can we have a better relationship with anger? So if you feel that you need support and guidance with processing your anger, I invite you to come along to my full moon inner child healing circle that I have coming up, and that's on Zoom, and you can find all of the details in the links below. in the video description. I am also running my Transforming Trauma weekend workshops, and that is in Sydney, Adelaide, Tokyo, and London. So if you feel called to learn tools and techniques, how to process different sorts of emotions from the 5 types of childhood traumas, as well as healing your ancestral lineage, clearing karma from your past lives, and experience family constellations in a way that is going to help you drop into your heart space, disarm your coping mechanisms, and find yourself through compassion, love, and acceptance, then this experience is for you. Please click on the link below if you like more information, if you like to book a ticket or book a free clarity call to see if this experience is for you and if you do need to be on a payment plan. I am also running my conscious relationship workshops. That's also in Sydney, Adelaide, Tokyo, and in London. And this is an incredible container, whether you're single or partnered, to come into this 2-day immersion for you to heal and transform the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine patterns within yourself, to integrate and embody more of the healthy, healed feminine and the healthy, healed masculine, so you can bring this into your relationship or your future relationship that you're manifesting and calling in. There will be some beautiful sensual embodiment practices to help you raise love and forgiveness within yourself, with your body, with your sexual identity, as well as finding yourself through self-love in this journey. And there'll be a relationship constellation to see what needs to be shifted in your relationship dynamic, whether it's your partnered one or whether it's past ones. So you have the awareness how you can move forward with your current beloved or your future beloved. There will also be a beautiful ceremonial ritual for the couples that's attending, as well as singles that are attending, to bless them in a sacred shamanic way, where you feel a lot more integrated and grounded into the spirit and the sexual identity that you came here to be, that is loving and insightful and so deep and enriching that you start to see how incredible you really are when you embody spirit and sexuality, as well as your heart space, in alignment with the true essence of who you are. So please click on the links in the video description below to learn more, to book yourself in, or to book a free clarity call. I really hope that my share in this video has really served you in understanding anger better and how to manage it in a way that you are the one that has the power to transform it. And this doesn't happen overnight. This is a process. It has taken me 37 years to get to this point where now I have the awareness where I'm feeling angry and where the trigger is coming from, and how can I process it in a healthy and functional way where I'm not constantly projecting stuff onto others, and how I can communicate that effectively. And it's not about controlling the other person, how they show up. That's not the point. That's still a projection. What's needed is to clear the projection so you see that person differently, you then experience that person differently. That is the whole point of doing this inner work. It's not about changing or controlling the person. You're missing the point. That's your ego wanting to feel safe with that person. That person is who they are. They're wired and conditioned the way they are for a reason. You can't blame them for them being so conditional or set in their ways. It is up to that person if they want to do something about it. All you can do is take personal responsibility for how your anger is showing up for you. and processing that anger so you can experience an energetic shift with that person and dissolve your projection, then communicate your boundaries and how your anger showed up with that person. And that person will get honest feedback that they would never receive, because so many people are so afraid of telling the truth, telling that person's blind spot with a place of love and awareness. So you're actually doing that person a favor as well. If you got something out of this video, please do me a favor and give it a like, comment below and share it with your loved ones. And to help me spread this message more, please subscribe to my YouTube channels, because the more people that is following my channel, the more I can help so many people just through these beautiful insights and downloads through my videos. Thank you so much for really taking the time to really learn how anger can be so destructive, but yet also so transformational if you keep practicing how to have a healthy relationship with it.